So I think that it's about time to start. Uh, it's about time to start. Let's just switch off the music. And as Andres already mentioned, welcome to the seventh of Mapon Partner conference calls. And this time the topic will be purely on design. And if we're looking into who is there, then it's Krishanis, who is our lead product designer. He has been with Mapon since year 2016, and he has done a lot of great job in terms of system design and marketing material design and lots of other stuff. And it's me, Ingus. I will help Krishanis with some of the questions and process in general. And we also have Andres here. Andres is together with his daughter, so that's why he's more silent this time. But he's still there, and they feel that he has to jump in. Then he probably will jump in and help us with the process. So yeah, feel free to use chat. Roberts is managing the chat as usual, and if you have any questions, then feel free to comment that in the chat. And yeah, as with the other webinars and conference calls, we're also doing recordings. So if you are late or have to run somewhere, then feel free to review the video afterwards. And yeah, I would say that this is enough for the intro, and let's get going with the topic. So Krishan, you can share your screen now and take over the presentation from here.
Yep. So where's the slide? This is something. So can anybody hear me? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, today's talk is going to be about design. As Ingus already introduced me, I'm Kristianis, and I'm at Mapon. I'm with Mapon since 2016, and since this time we have put a lot of effort and a lot of time into the design part of Mapon, so that our values have shifted from more like a generic company that pushes only sales to a company which takes design into account and acknowledges the influence the design has on its products, and uses the design as a tool to gain more customers and enhance our system. So today we are going to talk about why design is necessary, how it has helped us to grow, what design can influence in company, not only in the company but also in its products, in its core, in its base message in our branding. Also, we're going to talk about brand design, what is branding, and why it's one of the most important things a company has to rely on when talking about the future of a company and brand recognition. Then we're going to talk about some parts of our website, how we develop our website, how our website has been developed, and what you must take in action, and what you have to keep in mind before creating your own website. Also, I'm going to show you how we analyze our customers and analyze what the key factors are which you have to take in notice to create a website that generates leads. Then we are going to talk a little bit about product design. In this case, our products stretch from digital products like the system, like the mobile applications, also to like physical products which our engineers put on the clients. And then I'm going to talk about analysis, how we analyze all of these things we develop, and also how we gain data about the customers and how they feel to create a product that is more useful and keeps up the brand's name, and also makes the customers come back to us and generate more customers from other competitors. And in the end, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks about how we track customers which come to our site, and show you some heat maps, show you some analytics which we have gained and that have helped us to become better. So next slide. So when we start talking about design, we have to think about bad design. We all have encountered bad design, and we all have like a basic sense of what makes a design bad. So in this case, I'm going to go through some examples which have some very bad design. Although the intentions have been good, some of these designs have made it completely useless for customers to use the product. So in this case, this is completely horrible. In this case, we have everyone, I believe, has booked some flights with Ryanair. And Ryanair's checkout page for some time has had this place here in the bottom of the travel insurance that you have to check that you don't need insurance. So usually when the customer sees something like this, he doesn't like try to search a name like "don't insure me." He usually tries to search his country, and after he presses on his country, he's going to get to his bill the amount of money that the insurance costs. So this is a little bit like a black hat trick to collect some money from the customers, which is not always a bad thing. Yeah. This is a classic example of an elevator, which although you can find your elevator's like number, but it's very hard for the customer to find your story. Yeah. Also, for example, this case, if a new user comes to a product that looks like this, it's going to be a hell job to market this product. So every customer which opens this up will need a 100-hour tutorial to get started to know this program. Then there's some physical product fails. For example, Apple released a couple of years ago a mouse, which was on batteries that you could charge. And when you were charging the mouse, you cannot actually work. So basically you have like a limited amount of time to work. And when it runs out, you can tell your boss, okay, my mouse is out. I'm going to charge it now. I'm off for 1 hour. Yeah. And then there's this interesting fail, which Air France developed some time ago, which you, for example, if you show this to a customer, then the client can get very disturbed by what he has to push, because in the first sentence it tells like it's going to be redirecting to mobile. Then there's another sentence, and then you don't know which one of these will make what happen. Also, this is a classical reset password fail. I think that everyone has had to encounter a password generation step, which has created some headache for you. For example, in this case, if you get a window which looks like this, and if it says that your password is not valid, and it doesn't show which exact sentence is not valid, then you don't know which of these you have to comply with. In this case, on the right side, we have a better solution for the user experience, so that you know at least which you have completed and which of these you have to complete. And then there's this beautiful fail, which Ingus sent me, that shows that both of these doors have motion sensors, and each time one of the doors closes, the other door opens because it senses movement. So this is like an infinite loop of doors closing and opening. This is also very beautiful. I like this so much. So in order to open these scissors, you already need a pair of scissors. So these are classic examples of product fails, which have initially been good ideas, but they have failed on their way to solutions. And I have a little cheesy quote from Steve Jobs that mostly people confuse design with the looks, but basically the core idea of design is that it's not how it looks, but it's how it works. So good design is usable design. It's not always beautiful. So why does design matter? I could talk about this quite some time, but I have put 5 individual points that I think are the most important ones. So that good design is innovative. So if you think about good design, then you have to remember that everything you do in your product or solution and that you have done personally and have put some thought in it automatically is innovative. But if your solution helps customers to fulfill their goals, then it's also good design. Also, good design makes a product useful. If a product has no design in it, has no design thought put into it in its production, then it wouldn't be a good design, because it has to be so a product can be good if its design idea is in it. Also, the third point, good design makes a product understandable. So many products are not understandable. Users cannot access it, cannot use them, because there's no design input in them. So people have not put the customer in the center of the product and noticed their base needs. Good design is based on facts. So, for example, if you develop a product or an idea, many designers have a problem that they do not contact their customers. So they think of a problem, but mostly the problem is not relevant because they haven't talked to customers about the problem. So without gathering facts about the problem, you cannot develop a product. You cannot be good design if you haven't talked with real customers, with real needs they have. Also, good design is the foundation of quality. So quality products are mostly the ones which you like to use, and you feel the quality when you are using them. I have also gathered some information that may interest people which are skeptical about design and don't think that it's very beneficial in terms of financial aspect. So in this case, I have 2 lines, which one of them is red, which shows how stock value grows for companies which started to put some ideas and money into design, and how their stock value grow compared to companies that didn't invest in design, and how they were breaking the bank. And what is something different from design than brand design? So brand design is where everything starts. Your people, your customers know you because of your brand. If your product doesn't have a brand, then they don't know what they are using. So in this case, at Mapon, we have something like this. So we have infused design in all of our products, in all of our brand positions, in all of our marketing, in all of our ideas. So where it all starts with the brand design, then it continues to the product. So the product, all of our products get influenced by design. Then we, after our products have been designed, we can then start marketing them. We have a public website where we gather leads. And also, when we talk about our product, it's not just a digital product. Also, we are in the world, so our offline image is also very important. We have taken notice that we have vehicles, we have marketing materials, we have uniforms, we have trade fairs, we have business cards. All of these are offline materials that we have to think about when we are trying to develop good and stable brand. And after that, we have social media, which helps us to lay a base foundation on the web, so that also people which are searching for us and following us keep interacting with our content and keep track of our development, and all of our content which we put out in these social media accounts also is streamlined, and we have thought about the design aspect of it, so that people, when they see a Facebook post, they automatically recognize that it's from Mapon. When we are talking about two parts of this talk, then we have, I believe, two sides which are today with us. So we have our brand partners which are listening to this presentation, and we have our white label partners. And for example, in this case, our brand partners have already access to all of this materials that we have created in our site, and the ones that they can influence are the product side. So our brand partners, when they get information from their customers that they feel that some parts of the software, some parts of the apps need improvement, they can tell us, and we are going to put our thought in it and make the user experience better for the end user. And then we have our white label partners, and in this case, the white label partners have complete freedom. So you have the chance to influence your brand, you have the chance to influence your public website, you have the chance to influence your offline image, and all of these are very important to delivering a strong brand feel to all of your customers. And also, of course, you are dealing with the customers, and your customers are using the product. So, so you, as well as the brand partners, can influence the product as well. If you see and if you feel that the product needs some attention, and if there are like spaces that need to improve, and you can and you should tell us where the product needs improvement. So I'm going to talk about what makes a brand strong in more detail. So first of all, we start with the logo, and what is brand design in its core. So branding is how people view and perceive your company. It's not just the logo and the business cards and the vehicle design. It's the core message that your company is giving out to its clients. And if they see your logo, then the client should already feel like the presence of quality. So your main goal is like to achieve such a brand that gains some competitive advantage. For example, I can tell that good brand design is when I think about a company that is stronger than other companies that are against it. Also, good brand design is and has and makes a lasting impression. So if your company has put in some money in the brand design, then people are going to come back. Also, it generates referrals, because people acknowledge and see good brand design, even though they, for example, cannot explain why it's good brand design, but in a sense they are just feeling that it's good brand design because of the referrals, because of the quality, because of the influence it has over other companies. Good brand design speaks about the business DNA. So what this tells is that good brand design should come not from the logo and not from visual materials, but it should be inside of the business DNA. So your core message should speak about the brand. So the brand foundation, what makes a brand a good brand? So you have to think about a key message. Your brand needs a cohesive identity. So that means that your brand needs like a brand design guidelines, which you have, which you need to apply to all of your materials, and it needs to be consistent. So you cannot like release or develop images or messages that are confronting your key brand like idea. And your brand needs a solid home base so that your brand has only one place where all of the brand identity comes from. So you cannot have like multiple places where people fight against who has the right on what is inside of the core brand message or what isn't. And you have to integrate all of this branding across all of your locations so that the branding doesn't transform into something else, for example, in another country. When it comes to brand design, these are our base things which we have put inside our brand book, and I'm going to go through them step by step. So for example, we have our logo. We have developed a system which we have sent to all of our brand partners and all of our other offices that we use our logo only this way. We don't use our logo in these ways. So you have to talk about how your logo can be used and how it shouldn't be used, so that other people, when they are making designs for your company, do not accidentally create something that is against your brand rules. Also, illustration is a strong factor. Our illustration as its core idea is that it helps to understand content. When you are giving content to your clients, it's sometimes hard for them to read massive amounts of text. So when you add illustrations can many times help to digest massive amounts of text. Also, it gives visual satisfaction. And if your illustrations are in one style, as they are in Mapon, we have developed a illustration style which we are using for all of our illustrations. So for example, we have always like the people which are in illustrations with green shirts, they have always like similar face styles. They have always like darker pants. And this helps us to develop a strong identity for illustrations that we can communicate. And when people see our illustration, they already know that it's from Mapon. Yep. So when you are thinking about your illustration style, then you have to try and make it so that it doesn't look similar to other ones. That's also a hard part today, because there are so many generic illustrations that people get like bad ones. You can download bad ones, yeah, also from the web, which can be used in many companies. So the next thing is colors. Many times in my experiments, at least, when the brand doesn't have like a strong brand identity and for example, color code that the brand uses always, then what happens is one designer picks this down, another designer picks this down, and then another one picks this down. So in the end, you have like 50 shades of gray using your colors, and you are starting to lose your visual appearance, and your brand already starts to look weak because its visuals start to be fluid, and people can see that. So we have developed also a color strategy for us, where we use consistent color codes in all of our products, in all of our merch, in all of our vehicles and offline materials. Also, when you are selling products to your end customers, presentations are a key factor, and they have gotten more important even now when we are working from home. So your presentations need to be consistent. A consistent presentation shows that your product is also consistent and that your brand is a strong brand. For example, we have developed presentation assets, presentation materials that we give out to our employees that are selling the product. So all of our presentations look the same, feel the same, and people already, when they see the presentation, know that it's from Mapon. The same goes for document templates. So many companies work in a way that each of their employees uses Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and all of these documents go to waste because you have to keep up many different versions, many different files. And when it keeps the documents, many times they are so many that you cannot keep track of them, and the visual aspect of them gets lost. So we also use Google Docs for our document templates, and we have document templates for all of our products that our employees are using. And this also brings a consistent design and communication that shows that we are strong and we believe in our design. When it comes to vehicles, it's also a strong part, because previously when we were installing devices and our mechanics were using vehicles that were not labeled as Mapon, many times people didn't recognize the vehicles that drove into their parks. And after we transformed our vehicles and put our solutions and our branding on them, people started to see us on the streets. They started to take notice of us. They started to not get scared when a random car drives into their park. So people started to notice us, and the brand recognition was working excellent. So yeah, you need full branding for your real world recognition. Also, it creates trustworthiness. So when a employee of Mapon comes to a installation site, and when the client sees that it's Mapon on the vehicle, then he knows that he can trust this person and he's not gonna steal the truck or something, I don't know. So also this vehicle branding can work as free advertising. In our case, we have got calls from customers that have seen our vehicles and wrote down the number and just called our consultants just from seeing our vehicles on the road. So that's also, well, basically it's free advertising for your company. So, and here we have a visual material of how our brand book looks. So we have created like a website which can be accessed by all of our brand partners, all of our employees, which shows and tells about our brand fundamentals and our key message, and how Mapon's brand should be used in the materials. So yeah, these are all offline materials, how the logo should be used. We have typefaces, for example. Typography is very important. In our system, we are using one font. Also, the font is being used in our website. So the consistency and the feel when using the website and then continuing to the system is one. The colors, yeah. Drogen Group, which is like a local thing more. Presentation templates, corporate materials. Business cards, we have a template. So when a new employee starts their job outside of our Riga office, we can create a business card for them, or we can just send them a template and they can create a consistent new branding. We also have included in our brand book like communication. So the branding does not include only like visual material. So your voice is also a key factor in branding. So how you talk to your customers, how you communicate on the system, what's your company's voice, and that kind. So you have to get all of these facts down. And here's like a selling slide for Google products. And we would advise for you to reconsider to use them. because in our case we are using basically all of them, slides, sheets, docs, so that all of our materials can be on the cloud, and everyone can access them at any time, and the consistency is fluid, so that no one creates like a custom document and goes out in the world showing that it's Mapon. So yeah, these are the benefits. Also, collaboration, which I didn't mention, is like a great tool. For example, if you're writing a big doc, then you can get many people working on it in one place, so you can collaborate easily. Also, security. Many people think that storing files in the cloud is dangerous, but in our century, I think having them on your computer that can blow up, I don't know, get stolen or anything is more volatile. The file is more volatile that way than it's in your cloud, where it's saved by a password and it cannot be accessed by anyone randomly. So we are moving on to our website. So this was our website when Mapon started at the time where I was not in the team, and it's basically a small landing page which had all of our key fundamentals. So at that time there was not a written brand book, but already you could see like what are the brand key foundation thoughts, that we are reliable, we are always growing, we have a solution that is not so expensive, you get big gains, it's easy to use, we have like a strong experience, and we are caring for each client. So those were the foundations that we had at that time. And also this is interesting that when we started then we wrote Mapon with the big O, and this was an interesting shift when the Mapon branding differentiated, and when we started using Mapon with a small O. When we tried a little search on how people were searching from the time we started to use Mapon, we noticed that some people are searching the phrase map on separately, and that could be because at first we were writing two words, like each of the start letters were big, and that has made some long-lasting impressions on some of our clients, so that some of them still are writing map on separately. So that's an interesting little small fact there. When we developed our website, this was our second design. It started already growing. We were trying different like call to actions, putting our big number up here so that the clients could easily get to call us, experimenting what works, what doesn't work. After that, we tried like a mega approach where we put a huge button in the first page, which was working at some part and some time, yeah. And then we tried different call to actions. For example, we still had the button, but we tried different texts, which was working better. Also, we put some illustrations on the bottom, so that to show that for the client that we are not tracking not only like vehicles and trucks, but also we can apply our solution for many different kinds of assets. After that, we started to develop like a feel for our products and for our brand. We started to develop a unique visual language. We still had our buttons here and here, but we got this big phone number away, and we got a big button that offered clients a free quote, and which we still have there, and which is working great. And this is currently our website now, and the customers have developed over time, and the way that people are searching for information on the web has also developed. So in this case, when we were testing our website, we discovered that this savings calculator, which we have on our site, is working magic, because people nowadays they fall for cheap cheap buttons not so easily, and they need proof for solutions that can help them grow. For example, this savings calculator generates about the same amount of leads that this button, for example, has, so that we are differentiating where we gather our customers and where we get our leads from on our website. Yeah, a big part of branding is also social media consistency, which I previously mentioned. For example, here we have 3 posts from Mapon, and when you are scrolling down your phone and getting this image, you already, without even looking at what the poster or who the person is that has shared this post is, you already know that it's Mapon from these green circles, which we have integrated about a year or 2 ago. So now we get into the product design, which has a lot of influence in design. So when you think about system design, then the system is the place where our clients spend the most time in. So it has to be consistent. It has to be continuous, and it has to be easy to use. And usability and function has to follow how it is to be used. And also, we need to automate some of the development what we are creating. So, for example, if we are creating a new systems solution, then we have to think about how it can be integrated into the brand core identity. And we are automating some of the design aspects. So we are creating libraries for assets that can be put together, and so that we can create new system pages that are exactly the same as different other system pages, so that not always when we are creating something new, we have to create the design from zero. So we have like a base library of assets that we can put together, and we create like a page which is continuous and consistent with others. And these are, again, the green ones are the places which you as a partner can influence. So as I'm talking, we are focusing on the ease of use and usability and automation. So you as a brand partner and white label partner can always like influence these parts because the website needs improvement always. I think we can all agree that nothing is ever completed fully. We are always growing, and our design and our solutions are always extending, and we are always building new tools and new solutions, so that if you see like key moments where the customer is struggling, or you feel that you have a chance to grow your business in some kind of way by developing a new function or form or solution, then you can talk always to us, and we will take your ideas and try to put them to a solution. Yeah. So that's about system design. I'm going to show you how we develop some of our designs. So, for example, we are working on a solution. In this case, it was an integration with Emerson. So when we start the design and the core idea, we create like a base prototype, which, for example, in this case, these are only images. That is not the system. So I, as a designer, create this one to get the feel before it goes to production. So in this case, we simulate how the customer would put in this info, how what happens when he clicks OK, what happens when he clicks activate. So we go through all of the process, what happens where the customer will click, to create like a feel of the system, and to see if we have missed something. And this type of production we use mostly always when we are creating new products and sites for our system. In this case, we have the live map, which is always in production, which is always getting better, which is always like trying to make the user experience better, so that it's an ongoing development. And in this case, we have like a heat map, which shows which analyzes where the customer clicks. In the previous version of the live map, we had like the change of the buttons on the live map here inside one small button here in the corner. And we could see that many people click on this small button here, and the red point suggests that it's a very small and focused area, and that we should focus on extending it. And after we took out the map customization features in a more vertical way, when we placed them in a row across here, then we got a more consistent user input, and there was not anymore like a friction point which users had to find where to change, for example, the background map. In this case also we can see what are the most used features on the system, and we can try and think about how we order our solutions so that the most used solutions are on the top of the left side menu. So you need to gather insight information to always keep your product up to date. In this case, we are also having like a product that's called Hotjar on our website, where we track new customers and try to see how they use the system, in this case, the website. So here we had a user which we analyzed and tried to think about how he uses our website and how what he looks at and how he engages to the content which we have created for him. So in this case, he took a look at the product and now he's already in the contact section, and he's trying to understand who he has to contact to get more information. And in this case, we see that he's from Tajikistan, and he's trying to click all the time around. He's clicking here, he's clicking everywhere to like get contacts from Tajikistan. Yeah. So in this case, we have gathered information that we have to think about this exact place in our website to not allow something like this to happen again, because people are coming and seeing this block and they're trying to engage with the green dots, and we have to think about how he's even circling with his mouse, and we have to think about how to create a user experience on our website so that the user is not so confused, because in this case we thought that he would think that there's something broken on our website, and we have to try to find a solution to fix it. In this case, we have also the contacts page, and we can see how the customer engages with the website. We can see that they are putting in the message board here, and also trying to click on the email on the telephone, and also when they have done it, they all usually go back to the products or solutions, or eventually copy the email and then just send an email. In this case, also this is an interesting map. This heat map shows how the customer uses his mouse. So it tracks mouse movement, and when the mouse is longer here, then we can see that they have hold their mouse here more time than, for example, here. So they have started to read, and they have stopped here and hold their mouse there. Also, in this previous screen, for example, we can see that the order which you place your information is very important. So in this case, when our customers are reading from the left side to the right, the content block which you put in this side is always going to be read more than the content block which you put on this side. So you can always like manipulate and experiment with these kinds of things to test which of the rows would work better for your customer. This also is the map, the global reach map, which shows where our customers are engaging with what maps. So in this case, we can see that a lot of engagement is happening here in Latvia, and a lot of engagement is happening here in the UK. And interestingly, a lot of it is happening in the Indian region and also in Africa. So when we are creating like more difficult solutions for our customers, we use A/B testing, which allows us to find solutions that work best for our customers. So in this case, we had our A/B testing for our solutions advisor, and we tested out this block that saves my result, for example. We offered the clients the result with this block and offered the result also with this block. So we got more emails from people and more people completed this block when they are offered them, so that we left it on our site because this was generating more leads than the other version. So our A/B test was a success because we developed a version that works better than the other. So in summary, what you can do, if you're a white label partner, you can influence your brand. You have to take in notice that your brand something that you need to form, and you should focus on to create a sustainable and reliable brand. Your brand needs to be recognized. Your brand needs to be a strong brand to gain a competitive advantage. You need to focus on offline branding, not only your website, but you have to be strong outside of the digital space. Your brand needs to be consistent so that people, when they see something from your company, they know that it's from your company. Your website needs attention, and you can always analyze and gather information from your clients, how they use the system and what they are failing at using the system. I'm going to give you all some asset sources for you so that you can see and get some free images, videos, audio, and graphic design assets. I believe that this is the slide where Roberts is going to put a link into the chat to our asset resource. So in this case, we have like a free image library, which is Unsplash, which has loads of our industry images that you can use completely freely. So you don't have to photograph images yourself. Also, we have white label assets. So when you are selling the system to your clients, you have to have some images. So we have created like two folders of files that you can use for your materials, which are from systems and real life images. And these are the tools which we are using for our analysis of our customer journey. So Hotjar is basically for user sessions, mouse flow, and heat maps. So you can track your users, how they are using your site, how they are failing at using your site, and what are the most used parts of your product or website. Also, we're using Google Analytics to see the user flows, where they come from, how they, what they do on the site, and if they are converting, and also checking how A/B testing is working or not. In our case, we are also using Figma, which is our main design tool, and which we also have been using for quite some time for prototyping, where we test all of our designs, and in the end, we use it also for code handoff.
So see you everyone in January. I think something like mid-January would be a good time to start up the events. And as we already have mentioned quite a few times, if there is some topic that you would be interested in, then just feel free to share the ideas on the topics that we should cover, and we will do our best to do that. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Thanks for the attention. Yeah.
Okay. See you in January then.